Hey guys, Mr. Abyss here with Life is a Shonen. If you're enjoying the content on our channel, go ahead and like our video and subscribe to our channel. And if you want to go ahead and get updates whenever we put out a new video, go ahead and click that little bell down there as well. Enjoy! Okay guys, so we're going to be starting a new, eventually it'll be a video series. I'm not set up for it yet, but we are going to be starting a new video series. I think what I want to do is have the channel start covering my hero chapters as they come out, do live reads, reactions, anything like that. But I also want to go back and focus on some of the things that have already happened. Namely, my favorite arc in all of my hero, which is the Pro Hero arc. I would just call it the Endeavour Redemption Arc, because my god, it's so good and makes Endeavour so good. The character growth in it is amazing. I think, in my personal opinion, but I am an Endeavour fanboy, that is by far the best arc in all of my heroes so far. So what I'll be doing is, we'll be having, hopefully, 2 releases a week, one for the current chapter and one for a chapter starting at the beginning of the Pro Hero arc. I don't want to do the festival arc before this. Nonsense for me. I'm really not too big. The Chisaki arc's pretty good, but I'm not too huge on it. I want to start right here with my favorite character, Endeavour. So we're going to be starting with My Hero Chapter 184. We start out the chapter with November coming to a close. Everything's been wrapped up now. The students are done with what they're doing, so we finally get to come back to find out what happened with Eri. It turns out, according to Aizawa, that UA is now in charge of Eri. To which Deku is extremely excited about this fact. It hadn't been too long since they've seen each other, so he shouldn't be freaking out too hard, but it is good for them to find out what happened to her after she had been in the care of the Yakuza. Up until this point, she had been in the hospital, and she's finally getting a chance to really socialize and meet with people. One interesting point is that Tsuyu mentions that Eri reminds her of her sister. Did not know Tsuyu had a sister. They never shown her sister. She's never mentioned her before that I remember, but I'd be interested to find out exactly who she is. Continuing on. You have Kirishima and Uraraka about to walk in. It looks like Aizawa and Tagata are kind of ushering... Oh, they're telling them to come in. It's different for Japanese. That's right. So it's a little panel with them giving them the shoe sign, which in Japanese is actually like, come hither. So I interpreted that incorrectly. I thought they were trying to keep them out of the room. Eri-chan was abandoned by her parents, and it looks like her nearest blood relative was the boss of the 8 precepts. He's been unconscious for a while, so she really didn't have anywhere to go, even though I think it would be really irresponsible of the Japanese government to let her go back to him after all of this, but who am I to say that? It's brought to our attention in the next panels that the source of her power, or at least where she channels her power through, is in her horn, which has grown significantly smaller than it was during the Chisaki arc. When they'd first gotten her, it actually wasn't even there. They couldn't tell. Maybe there was a bump of some sorts, but it looked like everything was good, and then suddenly it started growing again, which means Eri's quirks, even after using them so heavily, will still come back. I think we can all kind of... Horikoshi's a good writer, so more than likely he's going to throw us for a loop, or at least make us wait a very long time. But I'm assuming that Eri is eventually going to be the one that helps Togata get his quirk back. Aizawa even... that's why I like Aizawa. He's got a very good ability to really hone in on what's exactly going on in the situation. The reason they're not letting her stay at a foster home is because of how powerful her ability is and how overwhelming the power is. They want to be able to test her powers to help them grow, because in the end, it is something they could use very heavily, especially the heroes. I mean, you saw what she did with Midoriya during their fight. He could use 100% of One for All and not have to worry about a thing. She was even able to reverse injuries. I mean, it's a very broken ability. I almost think the point of what he was doing by using her in that arc was the shooting Chekhov's gun thing. Let me introduce this character so that later on it's not an ass pull when I do bring her back out and use her for something even more important than just Chisaki. Let's be honest, on the rankings of things we got to deal with, Chisaki is very low on the totem pole. Or was very low on the totem pole. The other guy from the depressed one from the big 3 brings up also that even though Eri-chan's heart and body can become unstable, maybe if she can make them stable again, she will be able to bring back Togata's quirk, and we will have the return of the peerless hero, which is Togata. I mean, we remember how badass he was. He was, in Aizawa's opinion, the closest to becoming the next best hero, so it really would be disappointing if he's just taken off the table. I doubt Horikoshi's going to do that. So let's just wait and see what happens. Aizawa dismisses Eri and the big three because they actually have to have a meeting with the Class 1A students in the dorms. Apparently there are visitors coming. We switch to Tokoyami sneezing. He's with the group that's actually already in the dorms. So if you don't know what the sneezing reference is, Japanese people, I guess it's in their culture where they believe that if you sneeze, someone somewhere was talking about you. So that's what Tokoyami's sneezing for. Now, in the next couple panels, after the students talk to each other, or, have their back and forth, Uraraka brings up that Tokoyami did his internship at Hawk's place. As far as I remember, though, I did browse pretty quickly through the Chisaki arc. I don't think Hawks has been mentioned up to this point. If you're further ahead in the manga, you know about Hawks. I just find it interesting that they set him up here. I didn't remember that they did this. And we get to find out after that exactly who the people we were waiting on were, and it was the Wild Wild Pussycats. If you do not remember them, which you should, hadn't been that long ago, even if you're just watching the anime, they were the people that Class 1A was training with in the forest before the attack by the villain, I'm going to call them the Villain Association. I get their names mixed up with the guys from One Punch Man. So I apologize if I do it over and over again. They're almost similar. Sorry. But it's good to see these guys back. I actually do enjoy them. But of course, as in all shows, my favorite character is the one who got her quirk erased. She's the one at the bottom left. I would show the manga panels, but I don't want these things getting pulled. You have the you have the first time these people have met since that incident. So they have to go over a few things and apologize for not being able to protect the students, but honestly, it wasn't their fault. There's not too much they could have done. And of course, they brought along the small child named Koda. Huge moment in the past with Midoriya and Koda. I guess the fight against Muscular, probably one of the better moments in the manga so far. It gave me chills. I cried. I'm going to admit that. Whatever. I really did enjoy. I guess I found it cute that Koda actually got a pair of Midoriya sneakers, identical ones, but they're red instead of green, because he wanted to match Midoriya and he looks up to him. So it's kind of like Midoriya's first fan. It's really cool to see, even though he doesn't want to admit it. They actually mentioned that they're here to celebrate the reinstatement of the one who lost her quirks. They think that Ragdoll is returning because somehow she got her quirk back, but they're actually going to be bringing her in as an office lady, which is super depressing. She's she's the coolest one, or she looks the coolest. I like her eyes. We have a cutback while they're explaining where they've been to All for One. He explains that it's a bit of a problem that he has with these quirks. He sees a good quirk and he immediately wants it for himself. It's a bad habit of his, and there's many that he wants to return, but a quirk has to be used. So I don't know if he's being serious about returning the quirks. I doubt that. But anytime, from what I can tell, that All for One sees a quirk that is in any way useful, he will steal it and he will keep it until the time comes that he needs to use it. So if we're kind of simulating further in the future, I'm sure there's a quirk that he picked up that's going to help him either destroy Tartarus or break out of it. I could even see Midoriya having to fight super weakened All for One eventually, like maybe after a time skip or something like that. So we got to keep this dude in the back of our heads. He even says a quirk has to be used whenever possible and sooner rather than later. More foreshadowing. This dude's not going to be in here forever. He seems like the type that usually is going to be where he wants to be. Kind of like Batman. The only reason you've caught him is because he wants to be here. I mean, if you think about it, Tartarus is full of people that can be used to help Shigaraki. Kind of an awful place to keep a villain who can steal quirks, in my opinion. There's still investigations going on to what kinds of quirks he's taken and how long he's been stockpiling them in himself. And their really only method to keep him from not breaking out is to keep him completely and utterly restrained to the point of where he can't move a muscle. Yaoyorozu, my girl Yaoyorozu, asks, why are y'all rejoining at this time? It was kind of done. They haven't really done much hero action for a long while. But the Pussycats let them know, the main point of this chapter, that the JP Hero Billboard chart is about to come out. And that they currently rank 411. So, like I said, the JP Hero Billboard chart. I'll just go ahead and read the entire thing in my cool voice. Each hero's number of incidents resolved, level of contribution to society, approval ratings, and so on are aggregated twice a year and presented in a ranking of all active heroes. In other words, if one can place their names in the upper ranks, they'll be a hero that will certainly bring peace and joy to the people. You see in the shadows People wouldn't know it's Hawks yet, but there's Hawks on the right, there's Endeavour on the left, and there was All Might standing on the top. Midoriya mentioned the last time that the group was together, the Pussycats were actually ranked 32nd. Kirishima believes that's why they're trying to get back into it. They dropped down so far and so suddenly that they're trying to fight their way back up, but they actually retort with they're freaking out at the fact that they're even still in the triple digits. They haven't done anything, and people are still rooting for them. They believe that they owe these people that believe in them something, and that for them to retire completely would be a disservice to those people. And we change our viewpoint to the actual Billboard chart, Billboard chart awards, I guess that's what you call it, and it's live for the first time from Kamino. Traditionally, heroes do not appear at the event, but this is special, It's the first time there's been one where All Might's not there. What are the shaking up in rankings? Here's where we find those things out. At number 10, you have one rank down from last time, the Dragon Hero Ryukyu. She looks pretty cool. She has the scar-shaped shirt she's wearing that goes all the way up to her neck. She has a really cool, I don't know what you would call that. I don't know if it's a faceplate or the beginnings of a mask, but it's covering half of her face and it's got large claws going down the center of it, almost like a dragon claw. She's got some piercings, a headband, and little bat wings coming out of the back of her head. I'm assuming those are parts of her quirks, but like I said, the Dragon Hero Ryukyu. At number 9, you've got the Armored Hero Yoroshi Musha. This guy's pretty cool. Judging from his beard and what they say, he's apparently a pretty old man, but he refused to go down. He's actually gone down in ranking. Apparently, he might have been in the top 3 at one point, and he's very upset about the fact that he's dropped all the way down to number 9. Coming in at number 8, we have the Washer hero. This really reminds me of like a One Piece character. I have my theory that Horikoshi is a fan of One Piece, but if this person's ability is to take a character and wash off their evil powers, he took that from One Piece. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's interesting to me. I want to know what this person's quirk is. They are the squeaky clean. Apparently this person appears in commercials as well. It's the Washing Hero Wash. Least creative name ever. Coming in at number 7, you have someone way more familiar to us because we've seen him work before, and that is Kamui Woods. Kamui Woods looking pretty cool, sporting his usual wood armor. He did pretty good when All Might and everyone was trying to go in and save Bakugo, so it makes sense why he's ranked so highly. I did not know this, but it's revealed that Mountain Lady's actually on Kamui's team, and she's ranked at 23rd. Coming in at number 6, you have the Orthodox Man, the Shield Hero Crust. We don't see too much of what he really is. It looks like his hands are covered in scales. So maybe he's like a hardening hero, sort of like Kirishima. He's crying because All Might's gone, but that's really all we get on him. Number 5, the Determined Bunny ranks all the way. Ranks all the way up to number 5. She's the rabbit hero Miruko. She actually has horns on her head that remind me of Mount Lady's, but she's got like a double horn instead of one. And she doesn't want to join a team. She says joining teams is for weaklings. I would assume she probably more than likely has some kind of physical quirk, but that's all we get from her. All right, number 4, we have the ninja hero Edge Shot. If you remember him, anime or manga fan, he's the guy that can kind of like thin himself out and become like, it's not fabric, it's just like flattened stuff. Terrible explanation. That's like the only quirk I didn't look up before I watched this video. And of course, I tried to explain it. So, oddly enough, okay, so I don't guess he got his quirk stolen. Maybe he did. No, because that's right. If I remember correctly, All For One didn't even want Best Jeanist quirk. So, Best Jeanist right now, despite taking a break from active duty, he nevertheless remains at number 3. His approval ratings in the second half of the year are at number 1. So, he's the most approved of hero, but it's been a while since he's been there. He's probably going through some recovery. He got messed up pretty badly. But our number 2 is a hero that was mentioned earlier in the chapter, the winged hero known as Hawks. He's got long, I would assume, blonde hair. I'm not sure. Trying to give off, I think, like an angel thing, right? Right? He's got gigantic wings, kind of like the one of the X-Men. He's going to be very prominent going forward, so get ready for a lot of Hawks. A lot of Hawks. Not that that's a bad thing. He's got a really cool background story, so really stay tuned, guys. And now we get the big reveal that everyone probably had been waiting for, whether you're new to the manga here or you're one of the people in the manga themselves waiting for the announcement. The number one, the genuine number one, first time he's ever held it. At last, the flame hero, Endeavour. And of course he walks out looking like the coolest hero you could possibly be. He's got the things on his shoulders with the flames coming out. Who else has a beard made out of fire as well as a mustache? You don't get more manly, you don't get more cool than Endeavour. And that is the end of chapter 184. I'm going to be bringing y'all chapter 185 next week. I had a lot more fun even than I thought I would, so we're definitely going to keep this going. I'll see y'all later.